Hi, my name's Uhuru Williams, I'm a historian, and here's what you need to know to sound smart about the 1960s. In 1964, singer Bob Dylan scored a hit with the song, "The Times They Are A-Changing." This literally could be the mantra for the decade of the 1960s, which witnessed great social, economic, and political change in America. From 1960 to the end of the decade, a succession of social movements sought to stamp out inequalities in American society. The most prominent of these movements was the Civil Rights Movement, which, continuing from the 1950s, sought to ensure absolute equality before the law for African Americans in the United States. The Women's Movement tackled the pay disparity in work and also argued for more opportunities for women to contribute to the nation's social, economic, and political life. One of the other great social movements of the 1960s was the counterculture movement. Fueled by new music, new taste, and new social norms, this counterculture changed the fabric of American society. This counterculture movement found its greatest political expression in protest against the war in Vietnam, where young people burned their draft cards and refused to fight in a war that they deemed immoral. The Stonewall Rebellion in New York in 1969 also signaled that lesbian, gay, and transgender Americans also wanted equal rights and the ability to exist in a society free from sexual discrimination. By the close of the decade, the nonviolent civil rights movement and the optimism that people had felt about the possibility of the expansion of American democracy began to take a turn. Civil rights was replaced in the minds of many in the mainstream by Black Power. Peaceful protest against the war in Vietnam by massive protest across the country, and a women's movement that in the minds of conservatives threatened the status quo and the family in America. All of these contributed to the rise of Richard Nixon and his success in the 1968 election. Young people in large numbers came out and joined what became known as the Red Guards. These largely terroristic organizations were used to publicly humiliate, assault, and in some cases, even murder political enemies of Mao and the Communist Party.